Hello everyone. Hello, welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us at what we think must be the local infrastructure event of the year. It's NAVCA's 2020 Heart of the Community Awards. We're so glad you're here, and we're hoping you can join us by tweeting along using the hashtag Heart of Our Community Awards, or by adding your comments on YouTube. And don't forget to cheer along at home as well. We've already had some tweets coming in, and it's lovely to know that we're not just broadcasting into thin air. So I'm Claire Mills, I'm NAVCA's Head of Communications and External Affairs, and alongside me to my right is Alex Boys, our Head of Membership and, no, not Membership, our Head of Business Development, and to my left is Anna Pashley, our Head of Membership. So NAVCA's worked remotely since 2017, so seeing each other on a screen is just totally normal for us. And in fact, as Alex joined us in the middle of the pandemic, neither Anna or I have ever met him in real life. But despite that, we love being together as a virtual team, and the three of us are really looking forward to guiding you through the next 90 minutes. We're joined by a stellar selection of people from across the charity and voluntary sector who've generously given their time and presenting out the awards to our worthy winners. With over 60 entries from our wonderful NAVCA members, we've got lots to show why local infrastructure organisations really are the heart of their community, and also why they and the numerous charities and voluntary groups they work with are never more needed. Hope you've got your tissues handy for those emotional responses. So Alex, what's happened this year? You're going to give us a quick reminder?
Yes, I can. Thanks, Claire. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say what happened in a year when nobody went anywhere or did anything, but there's been plenty to talk about anyway. So it's been an interesting year, I think everyone would agree. This time last year, you might remember, we had a general election, although it feels like such a long time ago, it's easy to forget. Then in January, we had the first confirmed case of COVID-19 and we formally left the EU. And at that point also, the positive news was Claire joined NAVCA as Head of External Affairs and Comms. In February, the voluntary community sector came together for the Everyday Counts campaign, asking the government for financial help whilst it was working flat out in response to the COVID-19 challenges, supporting hundreds of thousands of people in need and supporting the many more volunteers that came forward to support communities during that time. But it's been a desperate struggle for many organisations since then, as fundraising has dried up and income dries up and demand for support continues to rise. And then the country in March goes into full lockdown and toilet roll becomes the must-have item of the year. By April, the government announces a £750 million support package for the charity sector, but this is not enough and it's not fast enough and there are too many complications. But despite the criticisms, it's still welcomed. And at that point, I also joined NAVCA. In May, we had beautiful weather, which was great considering we're all stuck indoors. And a very high-profile trip to Barnard Castle made it a top spot on TripAdvisor, marred only by the fact that it had such limited opportunities for eye tests to be carried out. In June, the lockdown eases, and despite the risks of coming together, some things are too important to be ignored, and Black Lives Matter protests take place. And with this, our first local lockdown brought Voluntary Action Leicestershire as pioneers in supporting their community through these challenges. August turns out to be colder than May and overshadowed by the GCSE and A-level chaos due to the lockdown. In September, the government is urging those who have offices to get back into them, but also to respect the tiers that have been brought into place for the lockdown. By November, here at NAVCA, we bid a tear-stained farewell to our former CEO, Jane Ide, as she heads off to lead some other team somewhere else. Lockdown 2 commences and is colder and darker than Lockdown 1, but progress on vaccines brings some light into the dark. There's also the small matter of an American election taking place.
And now it's December. Wherever you are watching from, this has been a year like no other. And whatever you've been doing this year, thank you for anything and everything you've done to support or be part of the voluntary and community sector, its volunteers and workers. For our amazing members, 2020 has been the year of massive new challenges. Responding to a pandemic while in a pandemic involved a major change, not only in what they do, but also how they do it. Moving the entire operation onto remote and home working is a massive change. Doing it when everyone is anxious for their family and loved ones made that even harder. Throw in homeschooling, shielding and furlough for added stress for everyone in the team, then factor in having to change almost every aspect of what your organisations do. I've worked with our NAVCA members since 2014, and I've never doubted for a second that our members would rise to this terrible year of challenge. Seeing you do so with integrity, grace, and humour has been inspirational. Witnessing your support you provide each other has been wonderful. These awards are our chance to celebrate with you, tell you of just how proud we all are of what the NAVCA family has done this past year, and to say thank you.
So when local infrastructure organisations apply to join NAVCA, we ask that they work in one or more of 5 core activities. These are community development, liaison, local VCS support, partnership working, and representation. And this year we've got 1 award for each of these categories. We also have awards for the CEO of the Year, the Rising Star for anyone working or volunteering at any of our NAVCA members, and finally our overall Heart of the Community Award. So we've got a total of 8 awards to be presented this afternoon. We've lined up some fantastic people to present them to you. But before we move on to the gold envelope moments, we're really delighted to have Rachel Maskell MP, the Shadow Minister for the Voluntary and Community Sector, here with us this afternoon. It's been a real pleasure working with Rachel this year, alongside many of our members, and now we can hear from her about her experience and understanding of local infrastructure and how we build and achieve our collective vision.
It's a real pleasure to join you today at your conference and to address you at such an important event. I'm Rachel Maskell. I'm the Shadow Minister for the Voluntary and Community Sector, and it's such a pleasure to be able to be in this position to advocate for the sector and to support you in all that you are doing. I realise a year ago we had no idea what was on the horizon, and what a year it has been, full of challenges, and the sector has been phenomenal in the way that it has stepped up and been at the heart of the response to COVID-19. I congratulate you all for every single effort you've made in your communities, supporting people more than ever, and hashtag never more needed, and I always add never more in need. At a time when the sector has shown how it can respond quickly to a crisis, we need government now to respond quickly to the sector. We know that it's really challenging times financially for the sector. Fundraising has all but dried up, and of course all of those events that you hold at this time of year are just not happening, or not happening in the usual way, whilst at the same time all those efforts you took a decade ago to diversify your funding, it would show resilience in the best of times, but of course these are the most unusual of times. So I'm there to speak for you, support you, and make sure your futures are secure. Now, as we meet, we have to look beyond the pandemic as well as through the pandemic in order to address the real challenges. And I want to say to all CVSs, what incredible organisations you are. As I've spent the best part of a year working alongside you, dropping in on your local organisations, engaging with your local charities, listening to the immense amount of work you are doing at this time, it's been just an eye-opener and a delight to be alongside you. But I think things have to change in the future, and I'm not going to tell you what those changes are going to have to be, because I believe you know yourself. But there are 3 main areas that I've been particularly focusing my attention on in my time in this role. Firstly, about money. We know how important that is. Secondly, about your power. And thirdly, about the relationships you have. So when it comes to money, we know that money isn't everything, and the sector certainly demonstrates how it makes the pound stretch so much further than other sectors. But money is part of the equation. It does help. It does make a difference, and you know, because of the communities you serve, how you can stretch that pound to reach people at the depth and with a quality in your communities more than anybody else. You know the connectivity between organisations and how when you work together you can make such a difference, and I commend you for that. And therefore it's absolutely vital that you are supported at your time of need, because at this time you are backing up the NHS, you are backing up local government, you are backing up the rest of the statutory services in reaching out into those communities, pulling people back from a brink, providing the additional support that organisations need. And you yourselves right at the heart of this. And I know from my own constituency what a difference having the right infrastructure bodies in place can make, and certainly have proved themselves the only people that can really deliver those volunteering opportunities in the community. But we need that to be recognised at every tier of government locally, particularly as contracts with local authorities and others are coming to the end. We need to make sure they're renewed with strength, but also with central government. Yes, government did bring forward 750 million as a direct response to bringing additional support to help people through this pandemic, but it hasn't compensated for the £10 billion loss across the sector. It hasn't replaced all of those fundraising opportunities which have been lost at this time, and we really do need to see proper help from the sector. I believe a budget for community and voluntary organisations would be timely at this time, now that the main budget has passed, for the Chancellor to look again to the corners of his budget to make sure that he can really build on the value that you bring. And we know obviously demand is going up at a time like this, not just because of the health issues and the pandemic itself, but the rise in unemployment, the challenges that brings, the loss of other services in the community. And of course, you are there as CVS's local organisations, as the infrastructure, the backbone of the sector, in there, reaching out, filling those gaps and bringing people together, and obviously forming those vital partnerships with other organisations. I really commend you for what you're doing and really want you to have the support you need. Secondly, when we look at power and the advocacy you bring, who can better speak for the reality of our society than beneficiaries, the people who have that lived experience, and you turn up the volume on their experiences and ensure that that's heard in the right places. I want that very much to be projected at the seat of government as well as other statutory bodies, so people can really understand not only people's lived experiences but the incredible work that the sector is doing to respond to those experiences, making sure that it goes further, making sure that real solutions are found and all of those experiences are drawn upon to drive forward more initiatives, more opportunities, and to secure proper services for the future. We know that things like the Lobbying Act have been such a bind on the sector and prevented you from doing what you do best. I'm somebody that believes the sector should be a critical friend of government, that should have that space to speak. I think it's important that it isn't silent, that people have the opportunity to articulate, to ask for more. That is what you are there for. And sometimes that is awkward and difficult for those in power, but it should be, because you are speaking truth to power. And therefore I want to see how we can open up that space to ensure that you're speaking in the right places to the right people, as well as speaking back to the community, giving them hope, giving them that real sense that you're there for them, but also making the case for their future. I also believe that we need good relationships, and I think it's got a little bit out of kilter at the moment. We've turned into this kind of servant-master relationship where the masters kind of set the parameters and the sector responds to that, and the sector responds incredibly well. There's no denying of that. But if we are going to ensure that we transform society, which is what Labour believes so strongly in, we really do need to ensure that you're sat at those tables, having those partnerships and relationships as co-producers of a future society. Why wouldn't we want to do that? And with an increased localism, devolution that we're seeing happening, CVSs are absolutely key to taking forward that voice with local government, local decision makers, MPs and others, to really set the pace of where we need to drive to, where we are currently and what the future holds. So I want to look again, I'm dusting off the compact, I'm looking at what's happened in the past, but believe we need a fresh new relationship being built where you really do sit at the table in a mature relationship and shape civil society in the best ways. I'm looking at how we do that within government itself and the opportunity I'm looking at in particular for perhaps a kind of citizens' assembly of charities, so that you can help shape and build the society that you want to build. And it's going to vary across the country, and that's why local organisations are so valuable, because the south is different from the north, the east from the west, areas of deprivation different from rural communities, urban communities. We know that we have a rich complexity to our nation, and you know your areas best and how to respond to the challenges there, but also what government needs to do. So let's hear those voices, let's have those relationships and ensure you've got the resources that you need in order to take our society forward. I speak as somebody in opposition, and I will speak for you however I can, wherever I can. But I want to be in government in order to really bring that change moving forward. I just want to end by just thanking all infrastructure organisations, charities, voluntary groups, mutual aid groups, groups which are new, groups that have been so long established, large and small, and say thank you. Thank you to all the staff that work in the sector. Thank you for all of those supporting the sector. Thank you for trustees, as well as thank you for those hours and hours and resources that you pour in. I know it's not a job, it's a vocation. And just say our society just would not be what it is, let alone through the pandemic, had you not been there. So I wish you well. I will work alongside you, go on that journey with you, and let's hope we can have real security and a real expression of what civil society is right at the heart of our governing structures. Thank you. I'm really pleased to be able to announce the winner of the Representation Award. This award recognises those who have made the case for and spoken as the trusted voice of the local community, the voluntary sector, being the voice which speaks to local authorities, NHS, government and other agencies. We know that the community and voluntary sector have such a vital role to play in advocating on behalf of all organisations, but also the community itself. It's a really difficult choice to make which organisation has really stood out from the frame, but I'm really pleased to announce that the winner of the Representation Award is
Hi, my name is Robert Brennan. I'm a community development worker with the Equalities team at Sefton CVS. I work in the Bain communities across Sefton, and this year has been extremely challenging for everyone. And we've been working closely with the CCGs to ensure that information on COVID-19 was sent to all Bain patients in the language of their choice, and also in other formats. So what we found is that information around COVID was being sent out in plain English. And it's wrong to assume that everyone can actually understand the terminology for. We work with asylum seekers and refugees, and it's been an extremely humbling experience to work with these individuals, and we are making a difference. So far this year, we've helped recover over £40,000 in DWP arrears. As mentioned, we've worked with the CCG over getting information out in COVID-19. We've also worked with the GP practices supporting 127 asylum seekers in Southport, hotel in Southport, particularly around their rights, enabling them to get interpretation and translation for them to register the GP practices.
What fantastic work from Sefton CVS, and a big thank you from NAVCA for Angela White and everyone in her team who have been working with diverse communities across Sefton. And we also have our first highly commended award in the representation category, which goes to CABAD, Community Action Bradford and Districts. Well done to Sue and her team for everything they do. So we hope you're all enjoying the show so far and adding to the conversation on social media. Claire, do we have any tweets or comments?
Yeah, we do, Anna. We've got quite a few people telling us we look more glamorous than they've ever seen us, which is good, we're glad. Holton and St Helens say we're looking mega glam at the Heart of the Community Awards. Looking forward to hearing if VS6 News has been successful in the liaison category. And Imago say we're watching and looking forward to hearing about the amazing work of the different NAVCA members at the hashtag Heart of the Community Awards. Don't forget to use that hashtag if you're tweeting at us so we can find your tweets easily and read them out. And what else? Holton and St Helens VCA say, wonderful to see the heroes of the VCFSE, that's Voluntary Community Faith and Social Enterprise sector, getting made a fuss of. Thank you, NAVCA. No, St Helens, thank you. We have so enjoyed watching all your entries. But it's time then, I think, for another award. So, Alex, what have we got next?
Thanks, Claire. So next up, we have the Development Award. And here's Fadi Aitini, the CEO of Muslim Charities Forum, a member of the VCS Emergencies Partnership, to tell you a bit more and to introduce our winner.
The Development Award is about local infrastructure organisations who are working with the local community to create and develop ways to meet the needs and aspiration of people in the local area. The value of an impact of working together, making connections, supporting one another, making friendships has been apparent and very clear during the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone is a winner by supporting one another and helping humanity at large. Today, we'd like to announce the winner of the Development Award is
Hi everyone, I'm Sue from Community Action Bradford and District. Our team's been working really hard right across everything, haven't we all? But I'd like to share a couple of things that I think are a standout for us. Beginning of the year, when we had our first lockdown, we were working with colleagues around the faces, the challenges of our communities, and from that we convened a group to support our credit union to put a grant programme together which has enabled the provision of interest-free loans to the value of £500 to families in need, and the bonus is they only pay 450 of it back, and there's no interest on that. That was great. They got some national acclaim. It was on Radio 4 for those of you that listen, and I was really pleased to be the neutral convener of that group. Our development team have been working really hard, bringing groups together to share their fears and understandings around lockdown regulations and changes to guidance, which were thick and fast. And a special note goes to Sarah Moss for her work with our organisations that run buildings, helping them to really cut through that red tape and work with them to make sure they could provide their services and stay open or close as they saw fit. For those of you in the north of England, you know I'm the liaison lead for West Yorkshire, and you know that I'm tenacious and I'll fight and fight and fight until hopefully we get some results. Few things have fallen down by the wayside, but it's early days, and I'm really hoping that the work I do there on behalf of not only Bradford but Leeds, Calderdale, Wakefield and Kirklees will make sure that all our communities are supported. One of the most recent piece of work I've been convening is on behalf of DWP. We're going to bring £400,000 worth of investment into the voluntary sector to enable our frontline organisations to employ workers to help those furthest from the job market get back on their feet, start attending their appointments. The outcomes aren't jobs, the outcomes are being able to actually walk through the job centre and have a conversation with someone. So that's a really good piece of work. The DWP understanding that not everyone's ready to go to work and there's still work to get them through the door. A lot of you know about our Test and Trace programme. That's bringing 14 organisations together to provide insight for our public health. so we can form our messages and make sure that that's working really well. We're in round 2 of that now. There's some micro grants for frontline organisations, and the outcome of that is £300,000 worth of public health money, again, into our frontline organisations, investing in our communities to get insight back. And finally, I got digital. Yep, good old WhatsApp. 20 to 30 groups, bringing people together to share experiences, share advice, and lots of the time I was the administrator. So thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you see that we're fit to get that award.
Well done, Cabad and Sue and team. Fantastic development award there. We're always so impressed with everything we hear about everything coming out of Cabad. Hope you have a good celebration after that award as well, and I'm sure you will, even though you have such a shy and retiring leader in Sue.
We've had some lovely tweets about the awards so far, Alex, and don't forget to tweet at us or add your comments to the YouTube channel. Your words might be chosen for a readout. So far we've had Magnus from Chesterfield Volunteer Centre on YouTube admiring your killer earrings, Claire. So excellent choice of bling, well done. Sefton CVS have tweeted, they've said, thank you so much. The work Robert does with our BAME communities in Sefton is fantastic, and we're so pleased it's been recognised at this year's awards. You're very welcome, Sefton. We've got some other organisations here that are also cheering on Sefton's win. Gary from Support Staffordshire has said well done to Sefton, winning Representation of the Year award. And our erstwhile Chief Exec, Jane Ide, has said that watching this is better than the Eurovision. So you can't get better than that, can you?
No, so please do keep sending us your comments, because we're loving reading them, but be kind to us because we haven't done this before. We're having a lovely time though. And now we're moving on to our next award, which is the Support Award. And here to introduce the award and its winner is someone I found massively supportive in my year at NAVCA, and that's Deborah Alcock-Tyler, the CEO of Directory for Social Change. We asked Debs to present this award because DSE do such a great job of providing support for the whole charity and voluntary sector, and also because we love her dog Arthur. So I wonder if he'll make an appearance. Let's see.
Hi there, Deborah Alcock-Tyler here. So chuffed to be asked by NAVCA to be presenting this award and doing this really short video about it, the Support Award. I bloody love infrastructure group. You know, I really particularly love CVSs. Many of you, of course, I would have come and spoken at your AGMs or met some of your colleagues. I'm incredibly proud of you. I always have been proud of you, but actually I'm even prouder now than I ever have been, because my goodness, we have faced some of the most huge and horrific blows to our finances, to our confidence, to our ability to do our work, and none of you have given up. Not one of you have stopped trying to provide the support to the local charities in your network so they can serve the beneficiaries. And you know, DSCs like you, we're sort of slightly remote from the end result of our work. But actually it's always worth remembering that as a result of your work there is a child somewhere that has access to a support service that they otherwise wouldn't have, because if you hadn't have supported the charity in order to do the right thing, they wouldn't have been able to get that service provided. So whatever the causes are, one way or another, you magnificent gorgeous human beings are helping to deliver it. It's whether people are trying to start something new, whether they're trying to get something bigger, whether they're trying to bring things together or closing down, whatever it is, you're just there to help and support them all the time. And you know, every charity starts with a single idea. Every charity starts with two people getting together and saying, isn't it outrageous that so-and-so and so-and-so doesn't have support or nothing's being done about it? And what you do is you help those ideas and those people to turn that passion and that real commitment to making change in the world into something really practical that can actually happen. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. I've trawled up and down the countries, meeting loads of you over time and certainly speaking to lots of your networks. And, you know, even in the tough times, please don't ever think that you're not massively needed and wanted and appreciated. And if people don't get the time to thank you, this is the time, and I'm going to say thank you so much. And so I'm really excited that I get to say, and the winner of the Support Award is
what a year we've had. It's been exhausting, it's been challenging, but it's also been really, really rewarding, and it's been amazing to see what all of those community groups and organisations that we've supported across the county have achieved. What have we done this year? I don't know where to start. We've produced toolkits and resources to support the community outreach, to support both our Good Neighbours schemes, who are already part of our network, but also to support the pop-up mutual aid and community support groups that really went above and beyond, and there was a galvanising of community spirit out there to make sure that nobody was left without what they needed in their local communities. Part of the toolkits we produced were around good practice, safe practice, helping groups to become constituted, to ensure that what they were doing was as safe as possible, was looking after their volunteers as well as their community members. We've produced shopping and money handling guidance and advice and updated that regularly to ensure that volunteers knew the best solutions that were out there to support them in getting shopping to those residents that may be struggling to access money or may be digitally isolated. We've supported with befriending and groups around good practice with befriending.
Suffolk Action Week, which was a week of volunteering activities and our first ever online volunteering festival. We worked really closely together on this and during the week to promote volunteering, and 50 films were submitted by organisations and groups to say thank you to their volunteers and to say that we are still looking for volunteers, and it was really great that us as a team could help our organisations and groups across Suffolk.
My role, my project from the National Lottery Community Fund, our target each year is to set up or to help establish 2 new Good Neighbours groups or Good Neighbours schemes in areas of need, and so far this year we've launched 10.
To follow is a short clip from John Wright from BBC Radio Suffolk, who supported our festival.
And you offer to help with guides or scouts, or make sure on Tuesdays all the bins are put out. If a farmer needs help with the sheep and shearing in a roundabout way, it's all volunteering. It might be ad hoc or at a regular time, weekly or monthly, whatever is fine. You might be made chair cause committees need steering, but in a roundabout way, it's all volunteering.
Oh, caught me just playing along there, having a go with my ukulele, keeping fun there. I'm so pleased, really, nobody asked us to play the ukulele. I don't think we'd have been that good. But thank you for that video, and congratulations to Chris and everybody from Community Action Suffolk. What a great piece of work that is. And we've also got a highly commended award for this category. We're delighted to present that to Community Action Milton Keynes, where the team have been doing so much to support everybody across the whole voluntary and community sector. Alex.
Yes, sorry, so my job now is to read out some tweets, which means I have to multitask where these things probably go wrong. One tweet we've had from DSC, they've asked for the clip that we just played for them to use from these awards. So just to let you know as well that all the winning and highly commended videos are going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel and sent out on Twitter over the next few weeks. So you'll be able to watch them again and again as you please, and send them and share them amongst your teams and followers, and of course make your family watch them on repeat over the Christmas holiday. They'll all be available very soon. We've also had some comments from Sue, never seen a cab, saying how pleased she is with the reward, that she's actually in tears. But we're not sure whether that's because of the award or the chat about crisps. That's also going on the YouTube channel as well at the moment. But there's still some really positive messages. So if you've got anything you want to share, don't forget to use the hashtag Heart of the Community Awards for tweets.
Yes, please keep sending us your message and using that Heart of the Community hashtag. Now it's time for our 4th award. This year, we've been delighted to host a couple of events with our members and with the Charity Commission. The Commission have acted quickly to share information and make resources available to help charities during the pandemic. And we're joined by Chief Executive Helen Stevenson, who will present the Partnership Award.
I'm delighted to be with you and to be taking part in this year's NAVCA Heart of Communities Awards. This may not feel quite the same as gathering together in a room, glad rags on and glasses in hands, but it's so important nonetheless that we connect and celebrate the successes achieved during this most difficult of years. You don't need me to tell you that it's been a year like no other. Many of us have faced challenges, whether in our personal lives or in our work, that have tested us to our limits. But while it's easy to look back at 2020 and focus on the disruption, on the change, it's important also to notice the things that have stayed the same or been reinforced during the difficult months we've faced since March. One of the things we always knew, but that has been brought into sharp relief this year, is the crucial role support and infrastructure organisations and place-based charities play in bringing people together in shared endeavour, in the work of creating and sustaining strong communities. It's not always visible, even to the people who benefit from the work that you do, and it's not always celebrated or appreciated, but you know it matters, and you know the difference that you've made this year. Whether that's supporting volunteers or ensuring emergency funding went to those who most needed it, or supporting local groups and charities to keep their show on the road during the pandemic. So thank you. I'm especially thrilled to be presenting the award for partnership. Partnership can sound quite cosy and safe, but anyone who has ever engaged in true partnership working will know that it's often quite the opposite. Partnership often means breaking boundaries between people, organisations and communities, and that requires leadership and a determination to put the interests of the people you serve ahead of what's convenient or easy. And often that leadership is provided by NAVCA members who understand the hopes and the needs of the communities they serve and have the skills and the vision to galvanise others into working together. While there have no doubt been countless examples of partnership working across the NAVCA network, there can only be one winner. And the winner of the Partnership Award is Slough Council for Voluntary Service.
One Slough approach is about the Slough Council for Voluntary Service and Slough Borough Council bringing together all of our excellent voluntary organisations to help us tackle this crisis.
I think without One Slough, we would still be trying to make a positive difference, but it would have been in a completely uncoordinated way. I think what One Slough has done has allowed us to make a coordinated response to these problems.
It was fantastic that so many communities, individuals, charities, the government, the local government, organisations, companies, everybody in Slough just got together in the very first days and decided we need to act, we need to do something to make sure that everybody gets looked after. And it was our pleasure to be a part of that. We carried on giving food parcels as we've always done, and there were so many others that did food and lots of other services for people. So being a part of that was something that made us all feel very proud of Slough as well as of everybody that took part.
Oh yeah, messaging out from One Slough was really good because it was consistent, clear messaging. We were able to share that with Facebook through our business community. So we have a newsletter that goes out from Slough Business Community Partnership. We're constantly in discussion with all of our business members. So we're able to keep them up to date on what's happening with One Slough.
Mostly from the social media that we were receiving the messages and we were doing the same as a group. We were forwarding the messages. There was word of mouth as well that this is the organization that is helping, and we can also get involved. So
One Slough was very helpful in exchanging ideas, and it was a forum where you could learn about what other community groups are doing, and you could take ideas from them and implement them in your own group. And it was a forum where you could bring any issues, and other people were always ready to help you.
We've learned lots. We've learned that we've built so many relationships as well. I think we've built relationship with the people that we've supported and we've helped. And we still help them today as well. We still get calls through with people and the community.
I think what we need to take forward is that if we can work this collaboratively, this effectively during a COVID-19 period, when we all mutually support each other, isn't it amazing what we could achieve when COVID-19 is not around and we're able to carry that mission and that partnership of collaborative working into an arena where we're not dealing with a crisis, but we're dealing with a thriving town and thriving people to make a big difference to our vulnerable communities.
Just wonderful. We all found that video so inspirational. People across the communities in Slough coming together and working in partnership to achieve so much. A huge well done for Ramesh and everyone at Slough CVS. We had a really hard time judging this category, and we have not one but 2 highly commended awards. So additional congratulations for 2 neighbours in the NAVCA network, Cabad, who work across Bradford and District for their Behind the Mask campaign, and Voluntary Action Calderdale for their Move the Calderdale Way project.
Yes, you're quite right, Sam. It's very challenging decisions being made about all these awards, and so congratulations to Slough, but also to Cabad and to Voluntary Action Calderdale as well, for their highly commended. I'll certainly be heading up to Calderdale Way when I can, when I'm allowed and I can get back out to boost the tourism up there as well. Keep plugging the tweets. Don't forget to send us your tweets in. What you guys watching on YouTube can't see is Lucy's busy away with her several screens, sending us details of all these tweets. I know all of our other colleagues at NAVCA are working hard to keep us informed with what's going on out there as well. So, Claire, do you want to give a few more highlights of what's happening on Twitter at the moment?
Yeah, it's so lovely watching all of these. And Deepika from Calderdale says it's really uplifting watching all of this, and that will be before they knew they were highly commended. So we hope you're even more uplifted now, Deepika. Not CVS say they're very proud to be an infrastructure organisation this afternoon. Let's hope that lasts for more than the afternoon, Nottingham, but thank you. And Reading VA, Voluntary Action say it's absolutely inspiring, and the ukulele has been a highlight. So keep going, everybody. I can't believe that we're halfway through the awards already, but we are. So it's now time for our 5th award, the last of the 5 elements of local infrastructure. Can you remember what that one is, Alex?
I can. It's liaison. It's the liaison award, and we know that, and actually never more so than this year. We know that voluntary and community organisation, infrastructure organisation holds all that local knowledge and contacts that bring people together. So I'd like to introduce now Javid Khan, CEO of Bernardo's, to introduce the liaison award winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to present the NAVCA Liaison Award. COVID-19 has taught us many lessons this year, but one of the most important has been about the value of working together. I often describe charities and community organizations as the glue that holds society together, and this has never been more important than in 2020. But we do this best when we work in partnerships, when we work interdependently, when we bring our individual experience, knowledge and resources together to help us achieve more. And as the UK's largest children's charity, Bernardo's knew we couldn't solve all the problems for vulnerable service users alone, especially with COVID. So we formed earlier this year a consortium of more than 80 other charities, community organizations, community interest companies, large and small, local and national, to help us reach into communities and identify the hidden children and young people who needed our help, especially BAME communities, who are often the most difficult to reach and usually miss out on support. And over 30,000 vulnerable children and young people, their families, have been supported through this consortium. That's just one example. I know other charities and community organizations across the country have been banding together and using their collective power to make a real difference to the lives of those who need us most. Please, please, don't stop doing this. And now, without further ado, I'm absolutely delighted and thrilled to announce that the winner of the Liaison Award from NAVCA is
Catherine Shepherdson and I am the Deputy CEO at Hunts Forum. I would like to nominate the recognised COVID-19 organisation accreditation that we set up as a response to COVID. This showcased the impact that grassroots VCSE, infrastructure and local councils can have when we work together. So a recognised organisation, or what we fondly called an RO, are all member groups of Hunts Forum. They could be a neighbourhood hub, a time bank, a charity or a town or parish council working in the district of Huntingdonshire. These guys were given a badge as such, then promoted as accredited service providers to deal with community support within their patch. All the groups under the RO accreditation have changed their delivery from what they normally did to a COVID response, having never supported their community in such a way previously. I want to nominate the RO system because it's allowed us to bring together a range of VCSE providers under one name, which in turn allowed them to become an equal and therefore work together for the better of their residents. The ROs received lots of support from both Hunts Forum and the local district council, including a bespoke funding pot, but it was the meetings which created the most significant opportunity to bring people together. These weekly discussions saw staff from both the District Council and Hunts Forum, along with the ROs, come together to highlight the challenges and issues facing us all and collectively come up with solutions that actually worked. An example of this was a shopping scheme that Hunts Forum set up with Tesco's across the district, which was a response to organisations having a wave of new volunteers and clients who had no way to pay for shopping. The agreement that Hunts Forum came up with Tesco's allowed volunteers from the ROs to shop on behalf of clients without having to handle any cash or debit cards, thus decreasing the issues around health and safety, DBS checks and risk assessments. These meetings and accreditation will cease at some point, but the groups tell me that they still need to come together to have a chat, and there are still issues that need solutions. Overall, if it was not for the RO accreditation, over 1,275 volunteers would not know about their local community group and have got involved, and over 8,000 tasks would not have been dealt with in such a smooth manner. So that's why I want to nominate our RO system, which brought local council, infrastructure and grassroots VCSE together to work collectively under one name.
So congratulations to Hunts Forum, led by Julie Farrow and all of the team, for a project which clearly had a massive impact. One of the things we've seen and learned through these awards is that there are so many stories out there about the incredible work that NAVCA members are doing. And this was a really hard category again for our judges. So we also want to say a huge congratulations to our highly commended recipients, Northumberland CVS, where Anne and her team are working across the largest county, and as Claire's just said, the best county in her view, to help make things happen.
As Javed said, the voluntary and community sector really is the glue that holds society together, and our NAVCA members play such a crucial role in their communities. For our members, the communities they work in, and for NAVCA itself, 2020 really has been an unprecedented year. It's probably also been the year in which the word unprecedented has been used as an unprecedented number of times. We've had some much needed support this year from our funders, and we'd like to say a big thank you to all of them and to everyone who has provided financial support for local infrastructure this year.
Yeah, we really do mean that, and we hope some of our funders are watching. If not, we'll be sending them the link so they can watch it later. So thank you, funders. We've had some more messages coming in meanwhile. Up in Calderdale, we can practically hear you from where we are. People in Calderdale, for your fantastic celebrations. Kevin Lyles, oh thanks Kevin. Kevin says he's so impressed by the NAVCA team delivering a brilliant Heart of Community Awards on YouTube. Congratulations to all my incredible colleagues across England. You really are incredible people. Our friends over at Acre say they're really enjoying watching the Heart of the Community Awards. Great show. And Kat Shepherdson, who you've just seen, says it's looking great, guys. Well done. We know, Kat, and we think you're probably even more excited now. And our chair, Judy Robinson, says volunteers, job support, good neighbours, COVID responses and more. You're the heart of the community. So please keep those tweets coming in. One final one from our friends at Voda. Loving the Heart of the Community Awards and hearing about the amazing work of our fellow NAVCA members, #NeverMoreNeeded, which is another great campaign to get behind. So now we move on to our final 3 awards. Here to present our CEO of the Year award is Sarah Atkinson, herself the Chief Executive of the Social Mobility Forum. Social Mobility Forum supports high-achieving students from low-income backgrounds across the UK into top universities and careers. Here's Sarah to tell us a bit more about it and why she's presenting this award.
Hello, I'm Sarah Atkinson. I'm Chief Executive of the Social Mobility Foundation, and I'm really delighted to be here to present the award for Chief Executive of the Year. Leading organisations is always a challenge, but this year, Chief Executives have had to dig deeper than ever. Without our offices and our planned events, we've had to rely on our authenticity and the quality of our message to inspire people. With our usual plans of activity completely disrupted, we've had to go back to the mission and think again about how to meet the changing needs of our communities. And with the boundaries between the personal and the professional so disrupted, our resilience has been tested, and we've had to lead with more humility and more honesty than ever. Earlier this year, some of you were part of joining in with an initiative I started on social media, tagged "This is what a Chief Executive looks like." We shared pictures of ourselves at our most vulnerable, our most honest and our most humble. It had a fantastic response because this year, more than ever, we want to recognise Chief Executives who lead with honesty and humility. The Chief Executives who've been nominated for this award have been put forward by their teams because they're all inspiring people. They're all brilliant, they're all complete stars, and that congratulations go to every single one of them. And I'm really pleased to say that the winner of Chief Executive of the Year is Sally Yeoman from Halton and St Helens Community Action. Congratulations, Sally.
I'd like to nominate Sally Yeoman, Chief Executive of Halton and St Helens VCA, for the NAVCA CEO of the Year award.
I'm Justin Hill, Chair of Halton and St Helens VCA. Sally has been instrumental in bringing together the voluntary and community sector locally to work coherently and effectively, integrated with the public sector response to the pandemic in a way that's really genuinely exceptional, and very few people could have done it as well.
Sally Yeoman is a brilliant leader, a great colleague and an exceptional human being.
Sally is a great leader. She really does care about her team, recognises their strengths, and also when they need a little bit more support and encouragement. That's probably why most of our team have been around for over 10 years now, despite some of the funding cuts and issues we've had.
Her response to the challenges of 2020 has been to work harder and smarter, showing great leadership under pressure.
Why she deserves the award is that she really cares about the organisation and she really cares about the whole of the voluntary sector.
Despite austerity and never-ending budget cuts, Sally has kept us true to who we are, never chasing funding for the sake of it or taking us away from what a CVS should be.
And what it would mean for the team is that it would be the team would like to see her get the recognition that she deserves.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bullock. I'm an Assistant Director at St Helens Borough Council, and I'd just like to join my support in nominating Sally Yeoman, who's Chief Executive of Halton and St Helens Voluntary and Community Action. I think what makes Sally exceptional is that, you know, she's a great partner to work with. She's led to really improved relations between the voluntary sector, certainly the council, but also the wider public sector in terms of housing, employment and health, all the organisations right across the borough of St Helens.
Sally is a great CEO. She's talented, she's intelligent, she inspires all to be the best that we can. She bears the brunt of when things are going really tough.
Despite all the challenges, she's made our organisation a really fun and inspiring place to work. It would mean a lot to our team. We already know that Sally's amazing. I'm not sure she does though, and I can't think of any better way for us as a team to show how grateful we are than to help her win this award.
And I believe that she deserves this award, not because she works for accolades or rewards, but because receiving the recognition of this award would be an enormous boost for everybody at Halton and St Helens VCA.
Oh, Sally, what a lovely, lovely team you've got. And that's a beautiful video. And also, we need to know where you managed to put the sparkles on a bit of video like that, because that looked very lovely. I think we've also got two of our chief execs who've been highly commended. Alex, who've we got?
We have. So congratulations to Sally, but also congratulations to Robin Fry from Voda in North Tyneside and Chris Abraham from Community Action Suffolk. So congratulations to you two as well for getting highly commended on the CEO's Award. I think we should also thank everybody on Twitter, because I think without them we would have had far less to say. And although it's very difficult for me to read and speak at the same time, I've realised I'm going to read out a few more of the tweets. First of all, our partners and colleagues at the Voluntary Sector Emergencies Partnership have said how much they're loving the Heart of the Community Awards. And well done to all involved, and it's been a great show, and a huge congratulations to all the winners and nominees. A fantastic example of the power of the sector, which I think is a great message. And we've got lots of members each congratulating each other. So Voluntary Action Calderdale, thank you NAVCA, big smiles from us and our partners Active Calderdale, and Slow CVS, huge congratulations, fantastic work, and also to our borough neighbour Cabad.
So our next award was such a close contest, and it's one of our favourite categories too. It's the Rising Star Award, and it's for someone who's shown true leadership within their organisation in the past year, but it's not directed at chairs or chief executives. Here to present the award and say a bit about it is our friend Vicky Browning, Chief Executive of Akivo.
Hello. I'm Vicky Browning, Chief Executive of Akivo, the Association of Chief Executives of Voluntary Organisations. Thank you for inviting me to present the award for Rising Star of the Year. It's been given today to someone who has shown exceptional leadership over the past year. Now, to me, exceptional leadership is about connections and relationships and authenticity and the desire to improve. And it comes from both the head and the heart. It's not selfish. It's not a solo activity. And it's leadership like this, generous and person-centred, that's been shown by so many people across the UK over the past year. It's leadership like this that's been helping us get through what has been one of the most collectively challenging periods of our lives. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone working and volunteering across the UK who's given their time and energy to making a positive difference. Local people taking on issues that impact their community is not new. It's been the bedrock of civil society for decades. But this year, it feels especially important to recognise and nurture new talent and new leaders, because it's clear that we need a lot more people showing the kind of leadership seen in the nominations for this award if we're going to create a better society in the future, and if we're going to make Build Back Better more than just a slogan. So I am delighted, therefore, to announce that the winner of the Rising Star Award for this year is Harjeet Randhawa of Reading Voluntary Action. Congratulations, Harjeet.
I'm Demelza from Reading Voluntary Action, and I'm delighted to talk to you about our nomination for the Rising Star Leadership Award. We're nominating Harjeet Randhawa for her phenomenal support for charities and community groups in Reading. When the first coronavirus lockdown happened, Harjeet, as Reading Voluntary Action's advice manager, was inundated with requests for one-to-one support on a range of crucial issues. You'll be very familiar with these, from emergency planning for adapting services to reassessing financial strategy because of loss of income, to a whole range of issues to do with staffing, volunteers, buildings, contracts, etc. At RBA, we went overnight from working in our office to working from home, and yet Harjeet managed to give an uninterrupted service, offering support, advice, updates and resources to local groups. And we know how invaluable they find her support and advice because they've told us. But it's not just about the emergency response. Harjeet's strength as a leader shines through in her planning for the mid to long term. So once the initial surge in demand for one-to-one support was over, Harjeet surveyed trustees and managers, and the responses to that survey have allowed her to design and deliver a programme of online training which addresses the areas of greatest need. Reading is so lucky to have Harjeet in this role because her impressive technical and legal knowledge, which she communicates and shares so well, is underpinned by a deep commitment to inclusion, diversity, equality and equity. She's leading on the development of this work in our own organisation and the wider sector, helping everyone from established organisations to grassroots groups to take social action and do the very best for their beneficiaries and our communities.
Harjeet, we really hope you were watching that. We're so pleased you were nominated by your colleagues at Reading Voluntary Action. And we have 2 more rising stars to recognise with highly commended awards. As we said, it was really difficult to judge. Over at Hunts Forum, we would like to say a big congratulations to Catherine Shepherdson. And at Community Impact Books, well done, Stephanie Thompson. So you're both highly commended as well. Over to you, Claire.
Yes, all our winners and our highly commended awards will be sending you a beautiful certificate through the post, an actual real certificate on a piece of paper as soon as we've made them next week, because we've been a bit busy this week, but we will be doing that. We hope they'll be with you before Christmas. And we'll also be sending you electronically this time graphics to use on your social media and to add to your websites, because if 2020 has been anything, it's been the year for really embracing digital. So any more tweets coming in, Alex?
Yes, you keep putting me on the spot, having to read and speak at the same time, but we have had some fantastic tweets. Laura Butters has said, well done to everyone and well done to a great chief exec here at Community Action Suffolk. Nottingham said, we can sum up NAVCA's awards in one word, inspirational. And so they're getting a bit teary watching all the awards this afternoon, as it's amazing stuff. And we just had one from Sarah Atkinson saying how honoured she is to be asked to present the CEO of the Year award, and all the nominees were fabulous. Big congratulations to Sally Yeoman. So thank you as well, Sarah, for agreeing to deliver that for us too. So now, surprisingly, I can't quite believe it, but it's time for our final award of 2020. Anna gave us the strapline for these awards when we were putting together the video about the impact of our wonderful NAVCA members during the first wave of the pandemic. Earlier this year, she said, well, they are the beating heart of the community's voluntary community sector, and you know, they really are, and these videos really prove it. So choosing just one of our members to win the Heart of the Community Award
needed all of our skills.
But luckily, we've been trained by the presenter of this, our final award. So friends, colleagues, viewers, to present this award, we give you no other than the former Chief Executive, Jane Ide.
Hello everybody, it's Jane Ide here. I'm absolutely thrilled to be back with you, invited here to come and present the very special NAVCA Heart of the Community Award. Particularly thrilled to be presenting that in this year of all years when, to be honest, I know that there's 180 NAVCA members or thereabouts who every one of you could have very well deservedly won this award. We all know that our local infrastructure organisations across England are absolutely the beating heart of the community. Without you, however unnoticed or unappreciated or undervalued you may feel sometimes, without you, the local voluntary sector simply would not thrive, would not survive even sometimes without your help. And this year of all years, the work you've done has been phenomenal. People have come to rely on what you do so much, and really, I know, I've seen it firsthand, really come to value what it is that you do for them. But as with any award ceremony, there can only be one winner. And I have to say, I'm not in the least bit surprised, but absolutely delighted to say that the winner of the 2020 NAVCA Heart of the Community Award is, drum roll, Support Staffordshire. Many congratulations, Gary and all the gang there. You've done a phenomenal job this year. Your nomination was very well deserved, and I am delighted to present you with the award. Well done.
Support Staffordshire has established a thorough partnership-based response to the pandemic. We've brought together mutual aid groups, established VCSC organisations as well as statutory bodies. Our support has given not only one-to-one advice and support, but also volunteer recruitment, bespoke COVID-related training sessions, forums, dedicated web pages with in-depth guidance, and supported the investment of millions of pounds into the sector. Here are some of the team with a snippet of what we did and what we've learned.
As a team, we quickly set up online support forums. This enabled organisations to connect, share information, and fundamentally to help people in the community to find and access the support they needed the most. What we learned was using technology effectively to host forums, as this changed our practice by enabling even more people to participate in future forums.
We contacted all the groups who were linked to Support Staffordshire and identified some cracking volunteering opportunities for them, like telephone befrienders, and also identified any specialist skills that they had, and then placed them with those organisations, which meant that actually the groups themselves were able to operate very effectively. And what we've learned from this is that you don't need to be there face to face with people. If you can tailor something to really garner people's volunteering skills, you can find the right volunteer and also find the position that they can be placed in. And that's what we're doing now.
It's been a really difficult year for many people, and what became apparent was how many isolated and vulnerable people there were in our local communities. As a social prescriber, we have been able to support many of these individuals to take charge of their health and well-being, and I think for many it's been a lifeline. Our work has also enabled people to engage and connect with their local community groups and organisations who have been offering a wide variety of activities and support. That more community engagement leads to more vibrant communities, and that allows people to connect and to thrive, and that is something that we wholeheartedly support as social prescribers.
At the outset of the pandemic, Support Staffordshire took a very proactive decision not to cut across our communities and step in and do the work that they were best placed to do, but to support them, to wrap our support around them and make the most of it. And we've used our expertise and our energy and our skill and commitment to do that now for virtually the whole of 2020. And I just wanted to say how incredibly proud and privileged I am to lead the organisation that's done that. The team have been absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't hope to work somewhere with such commitment and skill as I do. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to the whole team.
Do you know, I'm sat here in Sheffield, but I think I can hear cheering all the way from Staffordshire, even in my house. Well done, Gary, and everyone at Support Staffordshire. I hope you know how proud you should be of your achievements. Claire?
No, Alex.
Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
We had to fluff at some point.
Almost got through it, didn't we? Congratulations to Support Staffordshire, my neighbours just across the border. And also we'd like to congratulate York CVS, who have got the highly commended award for this category. So congratulations again to everyone at York. And we'd also like to say a huge congratulations and a huge thank you to every single one of their NAVCA members, those that were nominated, those that been awarded, those that got highly commended, and all of the others as well. We know that this year has been one of the toughest years for a long time, and every member has shone through, and they all deserve, I think, a keep on keeping on award just for having to manage to get through this this year and all the challenges that it's brought. I mean, we know that none of us are in it for the money or the luscious praise that our local partners often heap on us. So the more we can praise our members at NAVCA, because we're really aware of the fantastic hard work that goes into the work they do on the ground. Claire, are there any more messages on Twitter?
So many messages, Alex, coming in from people. Everybody's celebrating that they've won something, that their friends have won something, their neighbours have won something, people they've worked with, and just the love that you can feel and the support across our membership and also across the wider charity sector. Vicky Browning's tweeted to say we're doing a great job on the Heart of the Community Awards, and it's a lovely way to spend a Friday afternoon hearing about all the wonderful winners. Well, Vicky, don't forget, it will be on YouTube forever, so you can watch it every Friday if you want to. Roberta from Charity Finance Group says they've tuned in, they're really watching and seeing all the worthy winners is just fantastic. Lovely message here from Support Staffordshire. We're extremely proud of our team here at Support Staffordshire. We're thrilled to hear we won the Heart of the Community Award. Yeah, we're thrilled for you, Support Staffordshire, and Gary and everybody else. Like Alex said, it's been a year for just keeping going, and we know that's why you do it, because you know you're making a difference in your communities. So thank you. And I think our trustees are all watching. So here's our final video of the afternoon. It's our chair, Judy Robinson, with some words for our members.
Big thank you to all our members who took part in the NAVCA Awards 2020, especially at such a difficult and challenging time. And huge congratulations to all our winners. There were so many good entries that we had to create a highly commended category as well. So congratulations to you too. I think awards and ceremonies are the high point of these sorts of events, but I think they point to something rather more significant. And that significance is just how much the voluntary and community sector and its infrastructure is the backbone of thriving and fair communities. The work we've seen that you do really demonstrates that. We already knew it, of course, but now we really understand it, and I think others do too. So as NAVCA says, you are the beating heart of a community's voluntary sector. Thank you to all our winners, and thank you to everybody who took part in the NAVCA Awards 2020. Thank you.
Well, we've nearly finished. We've run out of awards. Any final tweets or messages, Alex?
I'm going to finish on one tweet that congratulates NAVCA, actually. So Simon said, well done to all of you at NAVCA for putting on such a brilliant awards ceremony. I feel as if I've really been part of the event. Thanks for making it so special. And Slow CVS has said, congratulations to everyone and thank you to NAVCA Fab Event. I think we should read those out to thank all of the people that aren't sitting in front of this camera. They're actually working really hard behind the scenes, particularly Lucy, Marcus, Kat, Chengi, and I think Karen as well, who've been helping out with the social media side of things. So thanks to the team for helping out with that. Claire?
Yeah, thanks to all of our colleagues, because we might be the ones that you can see, but they're the ones that are all paddling like mad in the background. And also thanks to everybody at Visair who's helped with the technicals. We're so glad everybody's been able to join us this afternoon. To all our members, whether you won an award, were highly commended, got a nomination, sent one in, or you're simply exhausted, we think you're all incredible. So now, in the only way there is to say goodbye in 2020, I think it has to be with a wave, doesn't it? Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.